good afternoon to live online training with myself, Mark Hartwright. We're going to do a kind of a little and often for this online training here, Ready Set Smart series. So coming back every kind of 2 weeks, how can I learn a little bit? So this video should only be less than 20 minutes long, and it's getting started. If you've got new hardware, if you've got new software, where do I start? And hopefully we can answer that question in the next kind of, hopefully 2 or 3 minutes, but hopefully in this 20-minute session as well, for that as well. But any comments you do have, obviously feel free to leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can as well. Now, like I said, we did do a live session, so the questions will come up afterwards, but pop them in the comments if you want them there. Just as a kind of introduction to myself, my name is Mark Hartwright. I'm a former primary school teacher. I absolutely love teaching, but actually using smart software and hardware day in, day out within the classroom, I massively saw the benefits of it. From it, and now doing professional development to kind of support you and as many others as I can. So feel free, as I've said now 3 times, put a comment underneath. But actually, if you want to email me directly with a more in-depth question, then feel free to do that, markhartwright@smarttech.com. Brilliant, let's get started with our objectives for today then. So we're going to look at getting started with hardware, getting started with software. That's Smart Notebook, that's Lumia, and the IQ, which sits on the hardware on the smartboard itself. And we're going to have a good look at getting started with the licenses and kind of what that all means and connecting all the dots so you can get going with that as well. So let's jump into it. So let's look at our software. Now, first of all, I'm using this on my smartboard here. In fact, we're going to look at hardware because that's the first objective. So the hardware itself, I am running this from a smartboard, and I'm just going to minimize all of this just so we can see what's here. And this is my smartboard. It is a fantastic touchscreen. Wherever I touch, obviously it's going to be doing on it. With the flat panel as well, where it's the MX, there's the GX or the 6000S, that touchscreen is fantastic, and you're not going to be able to, you don't need to have to calibrate it at all. So or kind of orientation from that as well, because it's all in one machine that will work for that as well. If perchance you ever did need to do it, if you click on these dots here, there's a blue square down there, orient for that one as well. You may need to do it once. I wouldn't probably say you would need to do it a bit more than that, but it's there if you want it. But like I say, it's that really fantastic touchscreen. And if you've got that GX or that MX, you'll be able to use Smart Ink, and that's fantastic to be able to just pick up a pen and just use it as well. That pen is a pen, your finger will be a finger, and then the palm of your hand, the back of your hand, wherever it might be, is going to be your erase as well. And if that's at the same time, then that can happen as well. If you're doing that on the GX or the MX, both of those will be working independently. And if you are stepping up to the 6000S as well, you have got multiple pens. In fact, you can have 20 if you do so desire, all doing everything at the same time for that as well. Also actually on your hardware as well, if I click on the home button, mine is in the middle here. Yours might be at the side down here with just a picture of a house on top of it, or a home, I suppose that's more apt. And then you have this bit of the hardware as well. This is the IQ unit. Straight in the board itself. It's got a bit like a Chromebook, an Android unit on the back of the board. And from in there, I've got nothing plugged in. So this is just get up and go. How can I get started from in here? And you'll have something like a whiteboard. So if I click on a whiteboard, on the MX and the 6000S, the same experience applies. Pick up the pen and just start annotating anywhere. Pen is a pen, palm is the erase, and that can be on wherever that is as well. And then your finger will be a finger to be able to move that around. There's some more kind of options for you down in here. I'm not going to go into too much detail. Like I said, it's going to be a quick start in that 20 minutes. But in here, you can click on the plus down at the bottom here. There's some fantastic backgrounds to be able to kind of load and use within those themselves there. You've got some different pens, you've got some different widgets, you can add in text, anything like that, all down at the side here. Let's just choose one to actually open from here, although it's not going to the moment, but you get the picture. There's some fantastic ones down there, and I dare say yours will work absolutely fine. So going to the home button and hit this on here, you've also got a browser. Now, browser's a browser, and you can access anything from in that as well. And you can add different apps within it. You can change your input, and then your screen share as well. So you can actually mirror a device up onto the screen and have that two-way touchback if it's on a Windows or running through the app as well for that one. And there. So I'm now just going to click on my input, and then on my input, I'm going to click on my side port. Now, so you can see it just gives you a live feed of everything plugged in. So if you've only got one thing plugged in, it's probably going to be the blacked picture on one of those, or it will give you a preview of actually what you've got plugged in as well. And then we're back into my laptop. So this now, looking at getting started with that hardware, I've got 2 wires plugged into my laptop. You can see that mine are coming out of the guest ports here. You might have guest ports at the front if you've got an MX or a GX, or guest ports at the side with the 6000S. But I would have thought the people that have installed it and done a fantastic job, and it's going to be installed with them kind of coming out the wall in some kind of faceplate as well. You can see that here I've got 2 wires coming out and 2 wires plugged into my machine. I've got HDMI. Now my HDMI will do my sound and my visual. And then I've got the USB as well. And that USB will give me the touch. So make sure you've got those both plugged in, even if they are coming out the faceplate, kind of out the wall if you like. Make sure you've got those both plugged into your machine and you'll be able to use that. You're going to have 20 points of touch on the Windows and on Mac, running those as well. And then from in here, it's then really, how do I use that? Yes, if you want to open up any program and use it just as you did before, you're good to go. But then you obviously can make any annotations on that as well by picking up the pen, annotating on top of that one. That was on a PDF or a PowerPoint, a Word, or any other file, you'll be able to do that as well. Or of course, even if you've got a web browser, picking up that pen, annotating on the different tabs for that as well in there, bits and pieces. Smart have got an array of software. How do you want to teach? If you do want to teach from the front of the class with a piece of software that's got lots of kind of bells and whistles, if you like, in it, then Smart Notebook is fantastic for that. A really engaging way of kind of interacting with your students. So Smart Notebook is this piece of software here, and it's got lots and lots of pieces to be able to engage and create some really meaningful lessons within here. You've got all your pens, you've got your shapes, you've got a fantastic gallery down the side, and there's also some different tools within there as well. You can download and use Smart Notebook for free. That's everybody. That's even if kind of half of your school have got the newer hardware and some of them are kind of waiting their turn, if you like. You'll be able to have that smart software, that continuity across everywhere. And that is downloading Smart Notebook version 21. I would say 21.1 if you're a Mac user, just because it's got the support for the latest operating system on that as well. And then once you're in that, you can download and use that anywhere, at school, at home, PPA rooms, wherever it might be. And then if you have got the licenses to go for the full account, then you can click on account and sign in. Once you click on sign in at the top there, it will just ask you for your normal teacher email address, whether that's a Microsoft or a Google one. And then from a teacher's point of view, you're good to go. IT management side of things, I'll come onto that in a moment when we look at software and the licenses. But from the teacher's point of view, click on account and sign in. Use your teacher email address and you're good to go for that one there. So that's in Smart Notebook. Once you are signed in, you'll be able to use all your features and everything like that. You'll be able to use this, the activities here. If you click on those activities there's some really good and fun, engaging ways of actually sending out some of the content to the learners, and some great kind of playing, some gamification, as well as some really good assessments, for example, which is response within that as well. And that is Smart Notebook. Loads and loads of stuff in that as well. And again, the same happens. Pen's a pen, back of your hand is the erase, or if you want a finger to move stuff around, then you can as well. Jumping now into Lumio. To get to Lumio, it is just a website. So if I go to Lumio, lum.io, as a website, lum.io, you'll be able to, again, ask to be signing in. It'll be at the top of the bit here, teacher sign in, and you sign in with exactly the same way, your teacher email address, whether that's a Google one or Microsoft one, depending on your school, and then you'll be able to access this here. So whereas Smart Notebook sits on the desktop, Lumio is a completely cloud-based solution. So if you want to teach from the front of the class, brilliant, yes you can. But actually if you want to engage with your students and actually send them the whole lesson as well, making that connected learning, making those connections that really matter within the class, or actually without the classroom as well, if students are off for whichever reason that we might all name, and then they have got the access to that as well. So here's my lesson here. For this one here, I made this lesson. It was a PowerPoint lesson. I dragged and dropped it in. There's plenty more of here that were Smart Notebook files, and I brought those in as well. And actually some of these are actually made directly within Lumio as well. And you can either make your own here. If you want to explore ready-made resources, there's loads in there, as well as some really good templates. And if you want to, there's a fantastic training site to be able to get those bits and pieces as well to kind of continue your learning rather than this quick one we're doing today. And then once you've got those, if I click on this lesson to start it, I can start this lesson here, and then it starts for everyone in my class when you're connected. To get students connected, they go to this website here, hellosmart.com, and enter in your code. Now this code is a unique one to me because this is linked to my license. Obviously yours will be linked to your license, and you'll be able to have a go and link them to that one there as well. And what the advantage of this one here is, if I'm making annotations, I'm here, the annotations appear up for the students as well. One point to note, I did just say the licenses wise, if you want to go and have a go at have a free trial of Loomio, obviously you're more than welcome. Just go to lumio.io and you'll be able to sign up and have your free trial there of about 10 lessons, just to have a go with that as well. There's no time frame, so feel free to kind of have a go with there. And then once I'm making any annotations on this here, that in real time will make annotations for the students as well. As I'm going kind of next on the slide here, and you can see there's an annotation from before, these annotations will be on here. Those annotations will appear real time for the students. As I go next, they go next, really kind of following with me for those bits and pieces as well in that student-paced lesson. If I jump onto a page which is kind of designed to be collaborative, again through these people here, I can change this to a collaborative workspace. Now it's a collaborative workspace. We can kind of come together in groups, work together, and I can ink on theirs, they can ink on each other's, and there are kind of real group work for that as well. Or if I wanted to change it to an individual handout, I can do that as well. And then we kind of, as it says, individual handout, so everyone gets a copy of this page here. And for example, if this might be a PDF, an exam paper or something, rather than having to print it off, or even at home when lack of printing facilities, I can actually just send that as a PDF out to home. They can fill that in, and then I can access this, mark it, give feedback, either real time or once it's kind of turned in at the end, whichever kind of way that works best for you, be using that Loomio account there. And you might be able to see at the top here, I've also got student pacing. So if I want to kind of flip it over and give them the opportunity to go wherever they want in their lesson as well. So I'm just going to end that lesson as well. Like I said, there's loads more within Loomio in this kind of quick introduction here. How do I get started? That's a starting point. Have a look at that training page there. There's some really good bits to do as well. And obviously in later weeks, we'll be going into a bit more detail about all of these bits and pieces as well within Loomio. And then the last piece was the IQ unit. So I'm clicking on my home button here. Your home button is that one piece there. And again, with this one here, if you do sign into it, you're going to get a better experience as well. So I'm clicking on my person at the top here, and I can sign into that one again, teacher email address, whether it's Google or Microsoft. If I want to sign out at any time, I have got my sign out button down there as well. And then within here, now I have signed in, I can access my files. Now my files here, you can see these are the same ones that were in Loomio. So in my Smart account, I can access these and it'll bring them down automatically for that as well. Or if I want to access any other files in my Google Drive or my OneDrive, they'll be able to be accessed from that as well. So that's kind of really bringing it all together with those bits and pieces. I can teach directly from the board, having uploaded that lesson to my Smart account previous as well. So I'm clicking that input button. My input button is there. Yours might be at the bottom of the downside here, just on the front. Coincidentally with the hardware as well, if you've got an MX or a GX, your freeze button is going to be here. You have got a freeze button on the remote as well. For the MX, that freeze button on the remote should be working now. The GX, because it is a new release, that freeze button is just waiting for a firmware update. So as of January 2022, it's not quite there yet, but that freeze button on the remote for the GX will be coming soon. If you hold down the settings, the GX, if you hold down the setting button here, it will freeze the screen. But on the MX, it's got a designated freeze button. And on the 6000S, you've got a freeze button, which will there. It might be around the side on this side here as well. It's a pause button essentially. It will pause, after a moment it will go, and then you'll be able to have that as well. But if I click on the screen itself, it then unfreezes it, unpauses it, and we'll be good to go here as well. So the kind of final piece that we were going to be looking at is how can I actually get started? How can I get started with my software as well? From a teacher's point of view, just signing is good to go, but actually who's looking after that? How can we link those licenses to the license itself, if you like, link those teacher email addresses to that licenses? So first of all, when you've actually made that purchase order from Smart, you should have received an email from customer services at smartapp.com, and the subject is Smart Purchase Order. From in there as well, this is whether purchasing the hardware or the software, you will have a unique code. A unique link, sorry. And in that unique link there, if you click on that unique link there, it will take you straight away to the right page and you'll be good to go. Easy. If perchance you can't find that email or you haven't got it, have a look for it. But if it's still not, it's kind of still eluding you, then you can come straight to the Smart Admin Portal. Now I've done a search here for Smart Admin Portal support, and that's taken you to this page. On this page here, you can see there's loads of great explanations of it all. There's some videos, there's some walkthroughs, and some really good support for you that as well as just clicking on a sign in button here. Once you click the sign in button, it's going to take you to a page here. Now if you follow the unique link, this page will go through that as well. But if you haven't got that unique, you can actually click on the software and claim your individual software as well for that as well. You will need to set up an account for this. It might be a Bursar or an Office email address, but obviously if you want to put more admin users in that, you can do that as well. But including the free software, now this one here is how many purchases of boards I've got. Maybe you bought 10, 20 boards, whatever it might be. You put that number in there, and then that links our end with one of the serial numbers. You don't need to put the serial numbers from all of the boards, you'll be pleased to know. But if you click one of the serial numbers from the board there, then they'll kind of link in our end, and we'll be able to kind of match those bits and pieces, and you'll be able to claim your software. From in there itself, if I just go back to my organizations, and clicking on the software and manage the software, and I'm going to manage one of these ones here. So this is my long product code, and now I can just click on manage users. So once I've claimed that software, I can begin to manage these users. And you can see at the top here, I can add users. So if I click on add users, I've then got this box here. And from here, if I want to just type in the email addresses, I can, or if I actually want to use Google or Microsoft and link it to that kind of system there, so they kind of automatically change in and out, I can, or if it's easy just to do a CSV dump, then you're more than welcome. Obviously, if teachers are kind of coming and going with natural turnover, and then those email addresses can just be deleted and the new one can be coming in. If there's kind of a long-term like maternity leave or something like that, then maybe then you're just changing those email addresses one over and one over like that. Or like I said, if you're using the Google and Microsoft way, then they're automatically going to be changing over any for that as well. So that smart software portal really helps you kind of claim that users, so that the teachers, when they do just log in with their email addresses, everything just works long term for that as well. I did have a picture of that, but I don't think I need to use that. Bit of a challenge for you. Yes, you're watching this whenever you are, but go and have a go with it. Try all 3 bits of software. Which ones work for you? Is it Smart Notebook, this software here, that works front of the class with bits sending out to the classroom with loads and loads of fantastic resources for you to use in that as well? Is it Lumio, lum.io, which is a website, to be able to go and actually share your lesson with the students, be able to annotate on it in 2-way inking, and really kind of interactive, engaging resources with the students there, and really some active learning there? Or is it the IQ unit straight from the board, quick and easy, let's just get going now for there as well? Have a go, and then I'd love to hear about that as well. Like I said at the beginning a few times, pop something in the comment or email directly, or if you want to post something on social media, feel free to do that as well. There's a few kind of links there to social channels. If you use the hashtag #WeAreSmart, then we can kind of all keep track and learn together for that as well. So in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to come back together for another session. If you are just obviously watching this online, then it's just going to be in the next one in the channel here, and go for that. Or if you do want to sign up live and actually join the session, have Q&As, if you want to do that as well, then to register for the next session here, it's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/smart little and often, and the smarts and capitals there, but I'll leave that in the kind of link below as well. So thank you very much for joining on the session. Hopefully you found that useful, and hopefully I'll speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye.